You want to ground for a minute?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I had a long day.
Yeah. So just go ahead and get comfortable, and whenever you feel ready, close your eyes. Exhale everything out. Inhale through your nose, expand your belly, expand your chest, elongate your spine, hold it right here. Unclench your jaw, soften your neck, your shoulders. Open mouth, exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, expand your belly, expand your heart, hold it right here. Soften your jaw, let the tongue sit heavy underneath the roof of the mouth. Slowly exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold it. Slowly exhale. Inhale one more time. Hold it right here. Slow and controlled for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Follow your natural rhythm of breath and inhale. And every time you exhale, soften your body, soften your legs, soften your waist, soften your jaw. Set an intention for how you want to show up. Let's take one more inhale. Hold it. Exhale, slow and controlled. And whenever you feel ready, slowly open your eyes.
Okay, cool. Are we on? Yes. Welcome to the Coffee Slut Podcast. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited for you guys to be back. We have the amazing Chelsea.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
We just did a little breath work and it felt good. I've had a long morning, so I kind of needed it, honestly. Okay, so welcome. I'm so excited to have you. And before we start, what is your coffee order?
So I'm going to tell you what I drink at home, but
Beautiful.
I'll tell you where I go if I do go. But I am a sucker for bulletproof coffee.
Okay, beautiful.
I love grass-fed butter, maca powder, coconut milk creamer from Laird's, stevia, and raw milk or whole milk.
Okay, beautiful.
It's like I have to have it that way.
Honestly, I love whole milk better than anything.
I used to be like almond milk or coconut milk, but the whole enchilada now.
Everything. Okay, what about your favorite coffee place?
So there's one place called Benu, and that
Yes.
one it's a special place for me because it was like the first place that me and my husband ever went to, like the first morning we hung out. So
Okay.
that one's special.
I love it. And they've been open for a long time.
Yeah,
They've been
we've
here
been married
for a while.
for a while.
They've been open for a long time. So, okay, before we get down to the nitty gritty, everything, Commune Bloom, you, breath work, everything like that, I do want to start off where it all started, your childhood.
Yeah.
How was that like?
It was good. Puerto Rican,
Beautiful, love
like
it.
a lot of joy, a lot of music, dancing. I traveled a lot growing up because
Okay.
my dad was in the Army.
Okay.
So I was exposed to a lot of different cultures growing up, and I'm really grateful for that. I used to live in Europe.
Okay.
I lived
Okay.
in Colorado. I lived in North Carolina. I was born in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
I was born in Santurce. I lived there for a little bit whenever I was little, but I've been in Texas most of my life. But my family, we celebrate, we dance, we eat, like typical Puerto Rican family.
Yeah. I love it. So your dad was in the Army, moving back and forth. Did you ever stay in one place for so long?
Just here in Texas, I used to move like every 2 years.
Okay.
So that was when you're little, it's fine. But then when you start getting into the middle school years
Yeah.
and high school, that felt really hard for me because those friends always feel like they're your forever friends, and then you're getting taken away from them. And I moved from like Germany to Colorado, from Colorado to Texas, and all three of those are culture shock.
Yeah.
Very different from one another.
So what led you back to staying here in Texas?
My dad had retired from the Army. He served for 22 years, and he found a job in Austin, and I lived in the suburbs, so I graduated from Leander High School.
Okay.
And this is where like we've been most of our life now. So I feel like I'm a Texarican now.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. So whenever you stayed here, was it during college years, or you already done with high school, or was it in between?
I was 14.
Okay.
And it was actually really, really hard. And I feel like that's actually kind of where like I first have like my conscious trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Colorado right before this, and when I moved, I remember I hated it here.
Okay.
I didn't fit in. And let me just say, like, growing up in the military, like bases, it is so diverse. So I never really saw racism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was not used to the way it was when I first came to Texas. You know, in the military, it's diverse, you know, all the white people, the black people, the Hispanics, they all hang out together. We're a group, you know what I mean? And so when I moved to Texas, I'm in the suburbs, you know, and so that was a huge culture shock for me. There was a lot of segregation, you know, whenever I went to the school, all the Hispanics hung out with the Hispanics, the whites with the whites, the blacks with the blacks. So it was such a culture shock for me because when I started, nobody asked me to sit by them at lunch.
Oh.
And I remember I cried every single day, and I ate my food in the bathroom stalls. And so for a week I would roam the halls and just eat my food in the bathroom stalls, and I cried every single day coming home. And you know, as an adult, it's like, oh well, get over it, you know, but that is, you know, when you're younger, that's your life, you know? And that was where I first started learning how to like mold myself and fit in and not like be okay with standing out, you know?
Yeah.
Is just not feeling accepted. And especially coming from like where I was, where I felt like I hung out with everyone, you know, it's not like I was the most popular girl in school, but I just got along with everyone, you know? And so it was a big culture shock for me.
I relate to that a lot because I feel like we're so or not sensitized, but like I couldn't be too Mexican. I couldn't be too like I didn't speak Spanish in school, only in the house. I hung out with Hispanics, but I felt like I was way more Hispanic than them. Yeah. Just because of how the culture here and everything like that, very Americanized, whatever. And I always felt out of place. So I like agree with that. Like I felt like I never fit in.
Oh, I could relate to that even as an adult. Mm-hmm. I feel like coming to Austin has been such an awakening for me in a beautiful way because I feel like I'm coming into Latinas and wellness, and this community is so beautiful. Like it's so different from where I just moved from Dallas, you know? And so I know what you mean, like how when you could be around Latinas, but there's Latinas that don't always accept you or don't speak like you. I don't know. It's just a different ball game, especially here.
And I'm very happy that the Latina community here is very big, especially in wellness, because we're both in wellness, right? Yeah. We're both in different spaces, but to see the event that you guys had, I was like blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many of us in the same space or love to do the same things. So I do want to go to, before we get there, kind of like you do breath work. You're also a heart coach. What led you there?
So I've always been a overachiever, you know, set big intentions, always wanted to do big things in life. I, you know, started my business really young and moved to Dallas where I met my husband here, but we got married after 3 weeks and then we moved to Dallas because he had an opportunity. And I already had a business here, but then I opened up my business there. I opened an eyelash extension salon. And I was also simultaneously a professional bikini bodybuilder. Okay, so beautiful. I was in the IFBB, and I was also, you know, running my business, always doing something. And, you know, I expanded. I opened up a bigger salon. I had a team. I bought the house. I had the luxury car, like all the things like checking off the success boxes. But meanwhile, I was having panic attacks at home. And it wasn't that like I was this depressed person, but I'm just like, I felt like I was it's like never enough. No. Yeah. It's like you're always searching for more. And I wouldn't say that I was depressed or anything. Like I felt like I was filling a void, but I was having panic attacks. How am I having panic attacks? But my life is so good on the outside. And that was kind of like the first, like, okay, something's not right. And I had gone to an event where I met one of my mentors, and she was talking about meditation. And I was already like every once in a while trying to listen to a YouTube with meditation. And, I could only sit there for like 2 minutes and think like, oh my God, my mind's too busy. Like, I can't do this. I loved working out. And that was kind of like my way of like, coping with mental health, releasing all of that. And, I got into meditation. I remember feeling so inspired by her. And she was saying that out of all the things that she would do, therapy, she was doing ayahuasca, plant medicine, like all these different modalities. And she said that meditation was her non-negotiable, and she would do it every single day. And I thought, I'm like, every day? Like, I want to say that the competitive side of me was like, I want to say I do that every single day. And I just remember asking her, like, what got you into doing that every single day? And she referred me to transcendental meditation. So that was like my first like introduction into the mindfulness, wellness space. Because like I said, I've been in fitness. I was always a fitness girl, but I feel like the wellness scene is a little bit more like mindful, intentional and stuff. And so that was like my first introduction. And I fell in love. I remember thinking, like, literally, this was February 2019 on the 2nd. I made a commitment. I'm going to meditate every single day for a year and see like how this changes my life. And I made a commitment to myself. And whenever I commit to something, I'm all in. So within 2 weeks, I just started feeling so good.
Yeah.
Within 3 months, I was like, this is always going to be in my life. Like, I cannot live without some type of coming back to myself where I'm being fully present. And it wasn't until 2021 when I discovered breathwork. And I wasn't even looking for breathwork. And they're a little bit different. So meditation is more like you're breathing in stillness, but like breathwork is more like you're breathing to shift your state of being.
Yeah.
And so I had gone down like the Instagram rabbit hole, and I found this like breathwork place, and I'm like, what is this? It looks cute. The Instagram pulled me in because it was like really cute, and like I see this group of people like dancing and like primal screaming, and I had already done events. Like I loved doing events, but this event looked different. And I saw that they were doing an event in Austin, and at the time I was in Dallas, and I'm like, I felt so pulled, like so called to go there. And I sent it to my husband. He instantly bought the tickets. I told like my girlfriends that were living here in Austin, and like we all went together, and I just knew from that moment, oh my gosh, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I always feel like anything that's meaningful, it finds you. Like you're not even looking for it. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. And right when we got out of that breathwork, and it was like a 3-hour breathwork experience.
Oh, wow.
It was life-changing. And my husband, we get in the car, and he's like, babe, I feel like you're supposed to be doing this. And I'm like, I know. Like, I'm going to do this. I have to do this. Like, I want to. I remember feeling so alive. And when you work out, you start getting that euphoric feeling after like a few months, though. It's not like that right away. Like, unless you're like already into working out and it doesn't feel as hard. A good workout's like, oh, I needed that today. But like when you're getting into it, it takes a while to have those like the runner's high, the euphoric feeling that you get from it, right?
Yeah.
I just remember feeling for like 3 weeks straight so light and so euphoric. And my husband too. Like I felt like it was like one of our best moments, like, as a married couple. And I thought, oh my gosh, this from breathwork. Like anytime I find something that just makes me feel good. And I think that's like a lot of people in the wellness industry, when they're working out or they find something that helps them feel good, they just want to share it with people. Right. And I knew I was supposed to do it. But yeah, I had like I feel like the traditional, like a lot of people feel like, they have their points where they have a panic attack or some kind of meltdown, and they're like, something's got to change. And that was for me. And ever since then, my life looks very different. It's been such an awakening, multiple rebirths, like just finding out who I am at the core and coming back to me at the core.
Yeah. I love that, because there's a lot of people who don't know about breath work, and a lot of people who do but are skeptical about it because it's like, well, we're just breathing.
Yeah.
But I think I'm at the point where you were at the beginning, where my mind's go, go, go.
Yes.
I can't stop it. And I don't know, it's because I don't know if I'm young and I'm just like doing all the things I'm trying to. But for somebody who's never experienced it, you explained it, how it makes you feel. But can you elaborate more? Because when you do your breath works, you say you might feel a little dizzy, you might feel a little. So for somebody who's never done it and should start doing it, how would you say their first experience should be like? How will it make you feel?
So, like I was saying about the difference between meditation and breath work.
Yes.
So, first, I want to just say, like, if you have a lot of thoughts on your mind, that's okay. You're not doing it wrong.
Okay.
And I always like to compare it to those, those, I think they're called like snow globes. And
Yes,
like the little, like
the shaky, yeah.
Imagine like all of those are your thoughts. At first, it feels so scattery. If you can just sit with it and just honor it and be with it, it starts to finally come down.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, it's just allowing yourself to sit with those thoughts, because if not, you're running around with those thoughts. But if you allow yourself to just be with it, then you allow yourself to come to that calm state, and then you go about your day, not with all those random thoughts everywhere, you get a little bit more grounded. But for people that have a lot of thoughts on their mind that are more anxious, I would actually recommend breath work, because it's such a faster way to get into your body and out of your head.
Yeah.
And we're in our head. We're like focusing on, we're here and we're not in our body. And that's actually why I love breath work, because it's a bottom up approach from body to mind. Like a lot of times when you're practicing therapy or you're talking about your feelings or you're doing mindset work, you're literally operating from the head, not from the body, not from the nervous system. And so with breath work, if someone's also feeling really anxious, I'm not going to put them in a practice where they're going to feel so like tingly and so activated. When they're like anxious, their minds are very activated. So I would actually do something that's a little bit more down regulating and more relaxing. There's all kinds of different breath works out there, right? And so what we're doing with the breath is like, you're always breathing consciously and unconsciously. Most of the time unconsciously, because we're operating about 95% of the time in our subconscious mind. But our breath is actually our emotional mirror. Like if you tune into your breath, that can automatically tell you how you're feeling. Like if you're not breathing, or if you're breathing too shallow, like you're anxious, like you just took a breath just now. You're like, oh.
It's because I was thinking I was thinking about it last night. I was just like, why am I not breathing?
Yeah.
I think I was like,
we get
so
much in our head.
Yeah.
That we forget to breathe. And our breath is like, I always say that our breath is our superpower, and our breath is our doorway into the body. Yeah. And so with breath work, basically what we're doing is we're using our breath to come back into our body to shift how we feel. And so if you're feeling anxious, you can change how you feel. If you want to feel energy, you can change that. If you want to feel calm, you can change that. There's different ways that you can use breath work. So, yeah.
What would you say is like a client highlight? Because the body holds so much trauma, and a lot of people don't realize that. Could you give me like a client highlight of recent or this past year that you had?
Of like how they overcame something?
How they overcame something during breath work?
Yeah. I mean, during breath work, some people will sometimes cry. Sometimes people will laugh. Like you'll have a different release. So your body is a warehouse of stored emotions. That's where we carry tension. That's where we carry trauma. That's where we carry a lot of what we're carrying throughout the day. And like I always say, the breath is going to bring you into the body. And I always like to mention how it's kind of like a broomstick, the breath. The oxygen that's coming in is helping you release wherever you are, whatever you're carrying. And the cool thing is you don't even have to talk about your feelings. Like the breath meets you where you're at. The breath knows what it's doing. But I've had people have emotional breakthroughs. They've laughed, they've cried, and just felt just like how I felt like right after my first breathwork experience. I have had people that literally got certified because of, having that one session with me. I've had people like heal their inner child. I've had people like, connect with, their spirit guides. Yeah. Everyone's different. Every experience that you'll have too will always be different, because even if I use the same playlist, the same technique, it will always be different because it's meeting you where you're at and whatever you need. But I've had people accomplish goals, start businesses. Like I said, they've gotten certified after this, break patterns that like were deeply ingrained for like decades. And so just seeing people overcome that and like start standing in their power, start taking up space, start like actually getting on camera and like being the woman that they've always dreamed of being, like that, those things are so like, it reminds me of my why. Yeah. And to me, it's even bigger than, I was a personal trainer for a long time. I'm a Pilates instructor, yoga instructor. I have a lot of different certifications, but there's something about making people feel good
from within that is even more rewarding than like, oh, I've lost weight or I feel stronger physically. There's something like at the end of the day, I think that we all want to feel good inside.
Yeah.
And when people start saying they feel good inside after breath work, like that is rewarding. And one thing I always even like to say too is I'm not changing your life. You're changing your life.
Yeah.
I'm just the facilitator. You're doing it. And so you have the power to do this on your own. And that way you're not putting other people on a pedestal and you're knowing that you have the power to, change.
And we forget that though a lot. We're always focused on my appearance or how we look or how we should look or how society thinks we should look. And I think it's really hard for people to get uncomfortable within themselves.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say is like one misconception about breath work that people,
Oh, I've had people being like, well, I'm like, because I talk about it so much. And I talk about sometimes people have like these traumas or these things have come up from like, I had a client once that she connected with an 8-year-old version of herself that was having a traumatic experience. And not everyone's going to have that.
Yeah.
It's sometimes going to be so beautiful, so peaceful. Like it's not always like that. And I think that sometimes people are scared to see what's underneath it all. You know what I mean? And like, what if I see this and that? And I'm like, honey, the breath is going to meet you wherever you feel ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, people get scared sometimes though.
Going deep in that layer, I know it's like really hard. I feel like it's really hard for people to overcome and like actually like, oh shit, like we're going to do something more than just the physical, right?
Yeah.
So breathwork and heart coach, what makes you a heart coach? Because I've never heard that before.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I was actually writing a post about this the other day. And so I was a salon owner for many years and like fitness girl, salon owner. And whenever I decided to pivot, like all of this, when I got into the meditation and breath work, I knew I wanted to get into this industry. So I was willing to close my salon. And luckily it was the pandemic. So we were mandated to close. And I thought, if not now, then when? Like this is the perfect time to do it. And so I decided to pivot. And I knew I wanted to host online courses. I wanted to do retreats. I wanted to keep on doing wellness events. But I thought, what do I call myself now?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm a content creator. I just feel like that's just putting me in a box because I don't think that it resonates with the other things that I want to do. I didn't feel like I was an empowerment coach or a life coach. And I thought, what am I? And it's so funny how it came up for me. I was pulling into my driveway, and I just had this like intuitive download, heart coach. And I don't know where it came from, but I was like, I just had this download. And so I just, do what most people do. I went and Googled it. And I'm like, what is a heart coach?
Yeah.
And it's funny. So my former salon was called Peachy Queen Studio.
Okay.
So everybody knew me as the Peachy Queen. Like I even wanted to dress up as Princess Peach for Halloween. And I never ended up doing it. But in my courses, my Build a Heart-Centered brand, one of the things that I talk about is that our vehicles, our gifts, our ways, our mediums, our way of like, making this world a better place and how we deliver our mission, right? That's our vehicle. And so I'm Googling what is a heart coach. And the first thing that came up was a Wikipedia. And it was Princess Peach. She was sitting in her heart coach and it said vehicle, heart coach, Princess Peach. And I knew it was talking to me. And at the end of the day, like what I found, it's not that I made up heart coach, but it's that at the end of the day, what I teach women is to come back to themselves, to come back to their heart, to come back to what's true within. Because that, like, I feel like when we start getting to know ourselves, when we start coming back, and like when I started coming into meditation, I knew this was my calling. We discover who we are when we start coming back to the heart. And so my work is helping women come back to their heart, whether that's through their brand, that's through, how they show up for work, how they want to connect with God. So yeah, I use breath as a way to connect to our hearts, as a way to connect to God.
I love that. That's so beautiful. Because I was like heart coach. I was like, what does that mean? You have cardiologists and stuff like that, but I've never heard that. And that's beautiful. And I think that's like what is it called? It's calling you like just a full circle moment, And I'm just like, wow, like everything
I just knew that it was like, okay, yes, because I do courses, I do retreats, and at the end of the day, what I'm doing at all the different modalities. Like one of the things that I've always struggled with years ago, and now I just own it, is I am not just sticking to one thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a one woman show kind of girl. So one day, like for a few months, I'll be leading a course, an online live training, and sometimes I'll be doing a retreat. Sometimes I'll be doing an event. And I don't want to put myself in a box, and I'm okay with that. Like people say, find your niche. Mine is helping women come back to the heart. And I do that through business. I do that through movement. I do that through breath. At the end of the day, my mission is to inspire and empower women to come back to their heart.
Yeah. And I love that you don't put yourself in a box, because that's why I started this podcast, because you can be more than your job. I feel like we get so strung up, or this is who I am. This is my niche. This is what I am. This is my whole identity. But when in reality, you're more than that. You can do so many things.
Yeah.
Like you don't just need to stick to one thing. So I wanted to ask, what emotions do people struggle with the most that you've seen?
I feel like the most common that I work with is anxiety and like sadness, depression, fear. And I think that when it comes to fear, they're too scared to stand in their worthiness, to take up space. And then with anxiety, I think that we're so overwhelmed. We're not taking a moment to pause. We're go, 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 that we're feeling anxious. So at the end of the day, like when we start to slow down, that's one of the most
uncomfortable.
Yeah, like it's uncomfortable, but it's such a powerful way to regulate your nervous system. And when you're the most regulated, you're the most like connected to your heart. You're the most like authentic version of yourself. You can start actually taking up space. You can start feeling peace. You can start feeling happy.
So why do you think we avoid sitting with ourselves?
Because it's tough.
Yeah.
It's painful. It's painful being a human sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's true,
But what's so beautiful is that when you start to feel, you really do, if you feel it, you heal it. And it only actually takes 90 seconds to feel an emotion fully.
Oh,
but we don't even sit with it
Yeah.
enough because it's so painful sometimes. But if you notice you're getting triggered a lot, that's already a sign that you're dysregulated and need to be with yourself.
Yeah.
So it's scary because we don't know what's going to come up. We're trying to avoid, we're trying to avoid feeling feelings, or avoid if we were wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People aren't scared of healing. They're scared of feeling.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think vulnerability is a weakness. I think it's what makes you strong. And that's your whole, that's a big part of your concept.
That honestly has been huge for me in 2025. I've always been, I would say I'm not afraid to cry.
Oh, me
I'm
neither.
not afraid to talk deep with people. I'm not afraid to talk about things. But in the last year, I led with vulnerability. I felt like the theme of 2025 was leading with vulnerability, but it was beautiful because it was very healing. I felt very held through community by being open. And, a little bit about my son, I have twins, and they were both born early. They were born at 26 weeks. Usually it's a 40-week term. And they were in the NICU for 5 months. And after that, I thought that after the NICU, after being discharged, it was like, yay, we graduated. Everything's all good. And that's actually kind of when the journey started. One of my babies, his brain injury was worse, and he started having seizures every single day. And we navigated this privately, didn't tell anybody, publicly for the first year. And then when I felt like I felt hopeless, I was traveling to Dallas, to Houston, to Austin, all these different cities, working with the top neurologists, and finding out my son had more brain damage from the seizure medication. And so that when I felt hopeless, I turned to functional medicine. Functional medicine is not covered by insurance. And it's like someone's annual salary for the treatment that he needed to have. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how I was going to fund it. And I finally shared with my community what was going on. One of my best friends, she created a GoFundMe for me. And I remember even before even deciding to do this, I spent a whole week unpacking, what does this mean? I'm a leader. I'm an entrepreneur. I should be having it all together. It feels weak to, say that you need help in this way, in a monetary way, right? You should be having your shit together, that you can't even fund this on your own. Those are the stories that we create in our head, right? And so I spent a whole week unpacking it, and I'm like, all right, you know what? 10 years from now, when my son is walking and talking, it's not going to matter. Like, nobody's going to remember this. And I will regret saying that I didn't try everything. And that sometimes means asking for help. And that's like another layer of like healing the receiving part as well, is asking for help. Not just receiving help, but asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to get a stem cell funded. And then when it came down for the next treatment, I'm like, how am I going to do this one? And we had already had our appointments, booked. It's a world-renowned clinic. People from all over the world come to this place, and it was coming close to it. And I'm like, okay, what do I have? I have silent headphones. I have yoga mats. I have community in Dallas. Like, I'm new to Austin, but we'll figure it out. And I decided to do a three-city tour in 9 days. And the way the community came for me, especially in Austin, where I barely know people here anymore, because it's been years. I've been in Dallas for so many years. Like, it's starting over here. People came through, and that was through vulnerability. That was asking, even like towards the end, like of the tour, it was the Austin one. The tickets were coming in slow, and I just put it out there like, hey, if anybody can share, like, I don't really have a big following out here. Just to even put yourself out there is so vulnerable. But what I got out of that, I mean, we're friends now. You know what I mean? Like, I met so many women along the way and got to meet you at an event. I started, speaking at different events. I've had all these opportunities come my way. And it was through sharing my story, being vulnerable. So if anything, please lead with vulnerability.
Always.
You will also see when you share what you're going through, you give permission to other people to take up space in that way. And because even whenever I decided to do this, I remember one of my mentors doing a GoFundMe for her husband who had a vaccine injury. Oh, sure. And he was like in a wheelchair. And they needed like $20,000. And I just remember thinking like, wow, she did it. She had the courage, And so I got to do this. I'm so scared. It feels so like vulnerable, but I'm going to do it.
But I think we need a lot more of that in the world, in this space.
And not only that, but if you go on Instagram, everybody looks like they're living their best lives.
Yes, it's
you know what I mean? Like, and it's not, and I get it, because why would I'm not going to put my crap on Instagram like every day, like, woe is me, or like I'm going through a bad day, right? We're always going to put our best foot forward. But if you look at everybody's Instagram, it looks like we're having a good day every single day, and it doesn't make space for the human in us. And so it makes it scary to share.
But it also makes it scary because it's like only 1% of your life that people share.
Yeah.
Like truly, it's only 1% of your life. They share what they want to share. But I think it makes it more difficult when people who don't create content and just have social media and just have their favorite people, oh, well, she has a luxury life, or she has a better life than me. Why is she always happy? Like, why can't I always be happy? And I'm like, there's so much more that goes into people's lives that they just don't share because they don't want to be vulnerable, and they don't want to be open, and they don't want you to know that they have bad days, when in reality, we all do.
We're human.
We're human. We need human connection. We need help. I love that you say help, because we're meant to, we are better with each other.
Like, if you think about our ancestors and back in the day, we were community focused. Yes. And I actually think that community is going to be the theme of 2026. Like, look at the political climate, look at the economy, like look at what's going on. We need each other more than ever. And I already see it happening. I see people coming together. Community is big. And don't forget, this is how we co-regulate. This is how we become stronger together. And then going back to how you were saying we like compare to other people, like a lot of times when we're comparing, it's because when we're going through something, it's so easy to see what other people are doing, right? You're comparing to like what you're going through.
Yeah. And community's been a big thing for me forever. Community is so important. Community research has shown like adds 7 years to your life if you have community. We need each other. Human connection is big. And I think especially after the pandemic, it's been fucking hard. People are scared. People are scared to open up. People are scared to ask for help. People are scared to like meet new people. They just don't want to put themselves out there. So in the season that you are now, what do you feel like life is teaching you right now? Moving to Austin, meeting all these new people, learning, seeing more Latinas in the wellness? What do you feel like life's teaching you right now, or this, this past year since you've been doing your events?
I've been taking up space.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like motherhood has actually awakened that in me. I don't have the time like I used to before. Like we all have the time, like we create time, you know what I mean? But my priorities have changed, that now with the little work that I have, I'm like, I need to take up space. And I'm seeing this also collectively. I'm starting to see more women start showing up for themselves, start to take courageous steps, start a new podcast, start a new business, like all these different things. I think that this year has been teaching me to be patient, to have faith even more, like faith in the unknown, trust that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't look like how you want it to be yet. You know what I mean? I feel like we're always in this rush to, I got to get there. And we forget to notice what's beautiful right now. So I think I'm being taught more patience. I've had to be so patient the last 3 years with everything that I've had to go through with my babies. And in the first couple years, I felt like I was grieving so much of that, that at one point I'm like, okay, I can't keep on living unhappy, even with what's going on. I have to feel good so that I can be a better mom, that I can still enjoy life, because there's always going to be good things and bad things, you know? So I'm learning to just really be patient and trust and be okay with the duality in life.
Yeah. And what are you unlearning?
To not rush things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not going back to the patience is I'm unlearning not rushing.
Yeah.
And being okay with where I'm at. How can I still be happy knowing I'm not where I know I will be?
Yeah.
But I can be okay right now.
I love that. How do you care for yourself when you're healing?
Breathwork.
Breathwork,
baby. Honestly, it's different though, because when I didn't have kids, I had this 3-hour self-care routine.
Yeah. Okay, so
slow. It's
now,
different now. But honestly, now it's even just breathe while you're in it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? For the people that say, well, I don't have time to do this, I have 2 jobs, or I have this. It's even the simple fact of while you're working, be right here.
Yeah.
While you're doing the dishes, breathe and be with the dishes. Be in it to where you're you know what? I am so grateful that I have all these dishes to clean, because that means I just ate so much yummy food.
Yeah.
It's slowing down. It's when you are eating, stop rushing when you're eating. Slow down. Slow down when you eat. Love is in the details.
Yes.
Slowing down. I used to be the queen of rushing, running out the door, running out, eating really fast. And I learned that also through fitness competitions. I had to eat every 3 hours and eat really fast in between clients. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's actually it's rest and digest for a reason. When we eat, we should be slowing down. That's one way, slowing down is one of the most underrated ways to regulate your nervous system. Yep. So if you have 2 jobs and you have multiple children, and right now you can't commit to going to a yoga class or sitting for 20 minutes for a meditation or breath work or even a workout class, because I get it. Some people are going through things that, they have no choice but to work many jobs right now, right? So how can you still take care of yourself and heal in that way? Be in it. Be present. Slow down. Slow down when you eat. Slow down when you're going to work. Stop rushing.
I literally take deep 3 deep breaths at the light.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a good idea.
This light's going to take a minute. Let me just pause and breathe before this light turns green. And man, I don't think there's enough people in your space. I think there needs to be more people. I mean, especially not in Austin, in other places, it's not something that a lot of people think about. Mm-hmm. It's they don't think about breathing. They think, okay, well, I need to do this to be distracted. I need to do this. I need to do this.
Just sit, being okay with not doing something.
Yes.
It's safe. It's safe, because
so nice.
I used to never take naps. I thought that was being lazy. If you before, oh no, if you're not always working or if you're taking a nap, you're lazy. That's how I used to like probably like 6 years ago now. But rest is your fuel.
Yeah.
Rest is your gas. You know what I mean? Like you want to have more creativity when you're working, more energy when you're working, right? And so rest.
You heard it here first. Please rest. Okay, so I do want to touch a little bit about your events that you've been doing. And I want for people to know, especially like when this comes out, I don't know what you have already planned, but tell us about your events. You've had 2 that I've seen, right? And tell people who either are new to Austin or want to be a part of a Latina event that they haven't heard of you and they haven't, been out and gone to an event like yours. And I know you do it with Bev. So
I've collaborated with Bev, but I have Community Bloom is my business. And that's, going back to community, that's why I started Commune and Bloom, because when we commune and when we come together in community, that's when we grow. We are more powerful. We create more synergy when we come together with community, especially when we're coming together with like-minded people and stuff. So moving here, and I want to give a backstory because I feel like the Latina community here has been so welcoming to me. Yeah. And it made me realize how underrepresented the Latinas in wellness are. And, I was in practice yoga, Pilates, and I've always been either like the only Boricua there or like one of a few, or if I am, it's with other Latinas that don't necessarily speak Spanish. And that's okay. Like I love all Latinas, you know what I mean? Like I am not one of those that's like, oh, you don't speak Spanish kind of thing, because my Spanish could be better, to be honest. But moving here, I met Bev, and it was so random. I just DM'd her. I saw that she was doing a Latinas in business, and I started this Latinas in wellness series because I wanted to highlight other Latinas that were in the wellness space. Yeah. And it's just so crazy how like we became friends, because like it was so, I just saw her random. She did like a collaborative post with these other girls that I follow. And so her page just popped up in my feed and I liked it. And then I saw that she was doing a series for Latinas. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I had one more of my fundraising tour stop and I thought, oh, maybe she can come to it. Like I said, I didn't know a lot of people. Yeah. And I needed bodies, and I'm a mama on a mission. I'm gonna get those treatments for my baby. Yeah. And I saw that she was Boricua and she was a veteran. I come from a veteran family, and I was like, who is this girl? And I DM'd her and I'm like, hey, would you like to come to my event and cover it? I know it's Saturday, and I'm thinking she's so busy, she probably is not gonna make it. And she's like, oh my god, like I would love to. And she did a reel. She put it like she did a reel leading up to it. She came to it, brought people, did a reel after that, highlighted my business, highlighted that we were fundraising for my son. And she was like, do you want to help me with my event? Like I'm going to do a whole Latinas and wellness, or in their wellness area. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing Latinas and wellness. Like I've been highlighting different Latinas on Commune and Bloom. Yeah. And so it just kind of like worked out. You know what I mean? And here we are, promoting this event. We had 100 Latinas come
on the
to
first
this
one, right?
And I'm like, girl, this is a huge deal. Like, this is our first like big wellness event. I'm like, this is a big deal. You had 100 people in general, and Latinas on top of that. Like it makes me so emotional, because the backstory is in 2022, like I started Commune and Bloom at the end of 2021, technically 2022. Things were going really well. I had my retreat in Puerto Rico. I was facilitating at South by Southwest, but I wasn't taking up space in my culture in terms of like, this is going to be an all Latin music event. You know what I mean? And I remember the first Bad Bunny event, like I was like, this is going to be a Bad Bunny themed event in 2022. And I literally had one person buy a ticket, and it was one of my best friends, so it didn't count. And then I was just like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm like accepted in this way. I feel like I have to mold myself, create a different playlist. And then I had a Como La Flor event that was, all Latin. It was during Latinx Heritage Month. And so it was just nice that we did it. I did, I had a bunch of women that was sold out, and we were raising money for Puerto Rico at the time. So that was beautiful. But I just remember feeling like from that event, I thought we are so underrepresented, and I want to be more involved in that. And so when I moved to Austin, it's like, a fresh slate. Yeah. It's so cool when you start over, and when you're moving, you get to take up space however you want. And when she asked me to help her with this event, I'm like, heck yeah. And then I thought, let's keep doing this. I'm going to add my playlist, my perreo. We're going to dance.
Love.
We're going to have fun. We're going to, when you think of wellness events, you're probably thinking just stillness and just stretching and yoga. And to me, it's more than that. It's what I felt I felt so alive seeing women dancing together, smiling, and just like having fun, letting loose, and practicing breath work and listening to the music that we actually listen to like all the time.
Yeah.
So it was really cool seeing that. And I can't wait to do more of that. I am going to be doing another fundraiser for my son's treatment, and I'm going to be doing all Bad Bunny, Latino music. So
love it. Especially ready for the Super Bowl because he's going to crush it. I'm so fucking excited.
And it's just, I feel like, with him and all the Latin artists right now, like, I feel like they've been opening up doors for us to, it's not even about this is only for Latinas. Mm-hmm. This is like for everyone to celebrate Latin music, Latin culture. Like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, you don't have to be Mexican to go to a Mexican restaurant. You go there because you want to enjoy the food, right? Yeah. So I want people to just like come and see how we get down, see how we celebrate, all cultures.
Yeah. I love it. And it's whenever I went to the event that you did with Bev, I had such a fun time. I had a good time. I obviously know there's so many women, but the fact that you talked to almost every single person, I saw you like say hi, introduce yourself, like literally to everybody. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And I think there's a lot. That's why I feel like there's a lot of community groups that don't work because like the host is just like, oh, this is my event. We're going to, y'all mingle. I think it's so important when the host comes and talks to everybody, introduce why I'm doing this event. I wanted to bring people together. I want us to feel like a safe space. And when we were getting it down, I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like, I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah. That's how we grew up, like we celebrated, we didn't talk about our feelings growing up.
No.
But we were at a party, like the way that we like felt like our spirits come alive is like when you go to a dance and everyone's in the circle like we did and we're like, hey, and I was like, hey, y'all need to say, hey, like I want to hear the hey.
And I could definitely tell that some people were uncomfortable, but that's
pulled them out.
Yeah, that's what's life's about, and I love it. And I
wanted to pull people out of their shell.
Yes,
yeah, shell.
I was like, girl, I used to be a dancer. This ain't nothing to me.
Yeah, and going back to like coming up to everyone at the first event, I didn't get to connect with people, because I was so like making sure everything was here and there and all that, and I made it a point to go up to every single woman because what I want at these events is actual connection.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be an event. I want to connect. And right now I crave connection. I'm a homebody now. I'm a mama now. I'm busy. And so these events are healing me.
Yeah.
So that's another way I heal.
I love that. So, okay. So I want to kind of go to like the rapid fire. I'm like stumbling my words today. I've had such a long morning. Rapid fire questions, and like the first word you can think of, anything you can think of. What would you tell your younger self now if she could see you?
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust that you'll get here. Like trust that you have a big purpose ahead.
I love that. Favorite hype song when you're trying to get ready, like get prepped for?
I mean, anything Bad Bunny, but definitely like lately, Velda.
Oh,
with Omar Quartz, Bad Bunny in his last album.
Okay.
Me di te follow, y te di follow back.
I don't think I've heard
if you go to my personal TikTok, I just opened it. It's that song.
Okay. I was like, I haven't heard that song. I need to look it up. One word for your future self.
Oh my gosh, that's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Trust. Just keep trusting. I feel like that's been the theme of life is no matter what season you're going through, trust.
Yeah.
Trust. Always trust.
And what can we expect from you in 2026?
More dancing.
Beautiful. More dancing. And what would you say for people who want to come to your events but are nervous? Retreats, commune bloom events, anything like that.
That it's a safe space. It's safe. We welcome you. Everyone's welcome. I accept all humans.
And as it should be.
Yeah.
I love it. And where can people find you if they want to work with you?
So at Commune and Bloom, at Shelsea Sanchez. The TikTok is at Commune and Bloom. I just opened up a personal TikTok. It literally has one photo right now. It's Shelsea and like 17.8. I need to find a name for that. But yeah, I'm actually going to be launching a training program.
Oh, beautiful.
To certify more breathwork facilitators.
Okay, beautiful.
So I'm announcing it on 1/11.
Okay,
So
beautiful.
I'm thinking this will be out around that time. But that's going to be early access. It's going to be the first live training in February.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be a 10-week program.
Oh, shit.
And
okay.
we're going to be learning multiple breathwork techniques. You're going to learn how to host wellness events. I want more women doing this.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as we need more women doing this.
Yes.
I want more women hosting events, bringing love into the community, having fun, making people feel good. And also in the process of when they're training, they're going to transform too.
Yeah.
So I'm launching that. It's the Heart Coach Method, and that is my nervous system based breathwork and embodiment facilitator program.
I love that. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That is
It's
so
huge for
fun.
me.
People are going to fucking go for it. They're going to be like, I want to do it.
I've been working late nights for this, like the last year, and
Oh, wow.
it has been a beast. And, even while I've been navigating everything in life, I stay up, I like fall asleep on my laptop working on it, And so this is what I do late nights, been working on this program.
That's so awesome. I think it's so fucking cool that everybody's just doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I think
there's no rules. We don't have to do it like the traditional way. Things are changing. Like I feel like those ways are becoming very outdated. People are realizing they don't need to even go to college, like they're having success. And now with that AI,
I know, right?
There's a lot of like shortcuts to things.
I do want to finish off with this because I think this is like something that a lot of people need, or I feel like need to hear. If someone listening right now feels disconnected, heavy, or numb, what would you want them to hear right now?
I want them to know that it's okay to feel. Mm-hmm. Like by you feeling what's underneath what you're trying not to feel, you are actually going to feel better on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So the more you feel, the more you heal.
Yeah. I love that. That's a beautiful way to end this episode. And I do want to say that I will be leaving her description and her Instagrams and her TikToks on the description. Please go follow her. Her work is so good. Like, I struggle breathing, and it's something that made me feel good. We did it before we started, and I felt better because I've had such a long morning. And just remember that it's okay to feel. Yeah. It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to trust your community. And I think that's the biggest thing, and we need more of that. And any last words?
Thank you. Thank you for listening this whole time, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah. I hope you do too. Make sure to follow us and subscribe. It will help us a shit ton if you follow us here on the Coffee Slut Podcast. I'll leave it in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.